We are starting over at the State House. That's where lawmakers are looking at ways to repurpose vacant and unused school buildings. They say those properties could help drive economic development and also provide services, especially in more rural areas. Right now, though, News 19's Josie Frost is joining us from the State House to explain.
Many schools across South Carolina have vacant properties. Some have buildings that have sat unused for years. Now lawmakers are pushing for new legislation that would allow schools to transform these buildings into something useful for the community.
Well, what are we going to do with this old building? Are we going to repurpose it? Are we going to demolish the building and put up a new structure? So those are all things that need to be factored in.
Dina Cruz is with the South Carolina Education Association. She says retired school buildings often sit unused, but could they get a second life? In a recent committee meeting, lawmakers suggested in rural areas, old buildings could be transformed into anything from a historic site to a pop-up medical facility.
The buildings that could be repurposed in these rural communities that were the old schoolhouses that could now be, even if it's just a couple days a week, a medical access where public-private partnership perhaps could be sought after to help bring access into these healthcare access to these rural areas.
To do it, lawmakers say they need to pass a law requiring school districts to report all the unused properties they have so the state can get a comprehensive list. Districts could sell off old buildings to help pay for new school construction. Cruz says there are a number of ways the properties could go to provide resources for teachers in rural areas.
What if some of these facilities became daycare centers where it was, the district was over it. They had their employees, but the teachers and educators within the school would have a safe place for their children to be at where they can get there on the way to school, as opposed to maybe having to drive out the way, drop their child off, and then come back in another direction just to be able to go to their job.
Lawmakers say the next step is drafting a bill that would give districts clearer guidelines on how to sell or repurpose these old buildings. They're hoping to present a draft version of the bill in committee in the next few months. Reporting at the State House, Josie Frost, News 19 WLTX.
All right, Josie, thank you so much. Lawmakers say a final bill could be ready for debate next session.